So hi there, Robin here, and today we're in front of the Harbinger wall of speakers, and we're going to be talking about the heart and soul of this whole thing, which is their subwoofers, the V2318S, and that's what this video is going to be all about. How does it sound? How does it work? How reliable it is? How good is it? What are the specifications? What are the features? What do you need to know to bring one of these guys home? It's a pretty awesome subwoofer. It's amazing for the price you pay because you get that opportunity to buy Harbinger at your local Guitar Center or some of the other stores that it's available at. And because it's direct manufacturer to retailer, you get to save a lot of money. So just to give you a good scale reference to what we're talking about, this is what their 18-inch looks like. It weighs roughly 86 pounds, so that's what the specifications. It does come with casters, makes it easy enough to move around. The casters are normally positioned in the back, and I'm about to show you how that is. But I did want to show you this in comparisons to their 15s and their 12s. For overall size. So when you have the wheels on the bottom like I placed them, it gives you the freedom and mobility that you want if you're going to be using it in a hall or in a church or in a school. These are places where the sub isn't going to leave the building. It's just going to get rolled around from utility space back and forth again. But if you are going to be transporting it like a DJ from place to place, you're definitely going to want to have them attached where they should be, which is in the back. The back gives you the ability to lay it on its back and then have the driver sitting up in the air straight down, so this way there's going to be no damage to the coil or to the assembly. That's always a good way to go. So back here, if you're going to have it in a vehicle for transport outside, binging and banging around on the street. Down at the bottom, if it's going to be staying indoors, like I said, in a school, for a gymnasium or a hall, or in basically a church where it's going to be put away for the weekend and coming back out. Those are always important. Again, I do know a lot of bars that have subwoofers, and they do the same thing. They don't want them there during the daytime or during the week. They just want them there when they're actually using them at night or on the weekend when they're having their events. So here we are having a look at the back. We'll take a look at the back first, and then we'll talk about the overall power and consumption use, because this unit is amazing, runs at 134 dBs, and that's very important. That's going to give you a lot of power to get a lot of work done, but most importantly, you do have to understand that that's one subwoofer. You may need more. That's always the case. So we're going to throw this on the screen for you. These are 3 actual quick starting guides for connecting 3 different ways using the subwoofer with your tops. Now, you can have it as an inline. So that means the actual subwoofer sits from the mixer to the sub and then to your mains. Or you can have it as an inline. So that basically means we're going to go from our mixer or controller to our tops, from our tops down to our subwoofer. So and the third way is to use the smart stereo connectivity that they offer on their brand. Now other brands like, for example, Electro Voice's ZLX series, the 15 and 12 BT, also offer this along with other models. It's a feature that allows you to go from your mixer controller to your top speaker and then use a stereo link capability to go between the left and right, and then use that to come back down to the subwoofer. Very, very smart, very good way to hook everything up if you wanted to have a nice cable managed job. So when we look at the first way, then when they're talking about an inline connection, that's going to be from our mixer to the actual subwoofer. We do want to pay attention to the type of cables we use, because in the manual they recommend TRS, that's tip ring sleeve, that's a balanced 1/4 inch cable, or XLRs, because we only have XLRs as our output option, balanced connection out. So we don't want to spoil the connection by using an unbalanced cable coming in here. So very important, try to always have yourself a balanced connection between your mixer or from your actual controller to the unit. That's going to get you the best sound quality coming in and out. If you are stuck using unbalanced cables, remember you can only come into here. You cannot then use these outputs and carry on to the top unless you have special adapters to pull an unbalanced signal off of those actual XLRs. That connection will also give you the ability to take advantage of the built-in crossover, because of course, since we're putting the signal into the sub and then pulling the signal back out of the sub to run up to our mains, you can use that actual 90 and 120 hertz crossover. So this way you're going to limit the amount of bass that makes its way up to the tops, giving you overall better performance and a little bit more volume when it comes to your tops. Now the second way of hooking it up, like we were talking about, is basically going from your tops down to your subs, coming down to here. So we're bringing the signal down. We're not going to use our crossover at that point. We're going to come out of the back of the main speakers, use the mix out, come down here, plug into the actual sub, and you're all set. If you're running your tops In mono, you'll only need to connect one of these, not both. And if we're using any smart connectivity between our top speakers, well, again, you'll be able to just run across your tops, manage your actual input down here, and you'll be all set. Remember, always XLRs, always a balanced connection. This subwoofer also offers 3 more switches on it. One is the phase from 0 to 180. That's going to basically reverse the polarity of the speaker. So if the speaker is basically half a waveform off of your main speakers because of distance or placement, you can switch that and engage that, and it reverses the polarity. If you're not sure if you need to have it or not, by all means, keep it off, play the room, flip it on, play the room again, and you'll hear the difference. Please pause the music between, because you are flipping the polarity on it, so you don't want to have that with active music playing through it. But that's what that's there. Normally off is fine. Most people that use the actual phase know about it ahead of time. So if you're comfortable with it, there you are. This is very handy if you know how to use it and you can take advantage of it. Again, it takes a little bit of practice, but for most sakes, you're just going to have it on 0. Something they don't even have in the manual is they actually now offer a actual gain control on the actual unit. It's the level. You can go increase it by either -10 decrease to +4 on the level. So this is really handy. Helps you balance out depending on how much current comes off of your actual controller or mixer. You'll be able to put that properly set up. Very nice. Down here, you get options for your LEDs. So if you're doing front of house, you can have the LEDs on with limiters. So if you can't hear the stuff from the distance you're at properly, you'll at least be able to know when you're pushing the actual limit on the actual subwoofers. And then of course you can have the light on so you can make sure it stays on all the time and know it's working, and off if you don't want the lights on at all. Notice on the back side, we have a power indicator and a signal limiter. So of course, green is good, red is bad. That's what's going on there. And at the very bottom, we have our fuse, which is actually marked as a T6.3AL, which basically tells me 2 things. One, that's what I need to replace it, so I should have a spare with me. And the second thing is about how much power draw this thing's going to pull max, which is roughly a little over 3 amps. So it tells you how many you can have on a line. That's pretty impressive. So for craftsmanship, it's built really well. It's got rounded corners everywhere. It's all plywood. It has a full kind of rhino texture to the whole thing. So it's very durable, very shock resistant. Also has the wheels included, and they're normally screwed into the back. The screws, of course, are all included. Everything's part of the package. It even has rolling bumpers at the bottom. So when you're laying it on its back and putting it back on its feet, it'll be protected and not get actually dinged up. That's very nice as well. The unit also has a standard pull mount on top, again, making it very convenient so you can pull your speakers and drop them right on top if that's the way you want to run your rig. So when we spin the sub on the side, of course, now we see the full handle, which is nice, all steel, good solid bolted in bracket. This is going to be easy to pick up and carry around if that's what you need. It's always good to have 2 people because remember, 86 pounds, so you got some serious weight going on there. I'm always impressed when I see people go and pick it up with one hand, not because they're super strong, but for some particular reason they must be rich because they're not worried about damaging it by picking it up by only one handle. Definitely you want to use this with 2 handles. You want to make it as safe as possible because it's your money that you invested in getting these things. Now in the front, when you buy it and take it out, you're going to have this actual branding sticker on the front of it that you can peel off, of course, no problems there. And you're going to have the speaker grill pre-installed, which is very nice. This is what you want to have. In the back, it has a diffuser connected to it, and that's going to stop the actual grill from vibrating, creating any bad distorted sounds. And it also helps protect the actual driver internally from any large dust or debris that may make its way through the hole. But again, the diffuser inside gives it a better look, but most importantly, it stops the actual speaker grill from vibrating and making any bad sounds that we don't want to have there. It's got your standard 18-inch driver package in the back, and you've got 2 ports down at the bottom. So when you look at this unit, you're going 2,400 watts, very impressive. And there's lots of other brands that have a lot of power, 2,000 to, 2,500 watts. This is going to play within that range there, because in the real world, that's the actual peak power. 134 dBs is the number that I'm really interested in, because that's the actual measured volume off of the speaker at 1 meter. Now, when you take out the instruction manual, this company is not afraid to show you the real number, which is 600 watts RMS. And why is that the real number? That's the amp current flow that they can put out to the actual driver. So the frequency response to the sub is absolutely impressive. You're looking at 35 to 150 hertz. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. I mean, in this price range here, you're going to be lucky if you can get a sub that's going to be, 60 or 80 hertz to start you off. And to have something that's going to run nice and tight at that 35 to 150, that's great for this. That is for sure, for sure. So here what we've done is we've gotten ourselves hooked up with one of the 8-inch Harbingers. That is the 2308 on that side, and we've added it with the subwoofer, and that's all running off of a very impressive, by the way, Gemini. This is the CDM 4000 BT. Now I got to read it again. It's the CDM 4000 BT. This has 2 CDs, MP3 options on top. It even has Bluetooth. It's a bit of a Sherman tank, and you can get this for as low as $350 sometimes. Why am I saying that? Because you probably have yourself an amazing controller that needs to run off your laptop, or you've invested thousands of dollars into that piece of hardware. Well, sometimes you're going to be playing in places where you don't want to take your $2,000 controller. Sometimes you're playing in places where, you know, there's too much liability to have that big guy out there, or you need to have yourself a backup and you want a bit of a Sherman tank. So if you're going to play something in a backyard of somebody's house, or you're in a barn or in a field, or you're in a big parking lot where you don't want to have your really good controller out there, that is not a bad backup. It'll do whatever you need it to do, just like that. If you're a good DJ, it doesn't matter what's in front of you. It's like being a good driver. You can get into any car and do a good job. That's what's happening here. So if you're looking for a reasonably priced tank of a controller, get yourself a CDM, new or used, by the way, because these have been around for a while, but this one has Bluetooth. It's a new model. It's the CDM 4000 BT from Gemini. Really, they're, you know, nice layout, does everything, jack of all trades controller. Very important though, I can use it with my royalty-free music via the actual USBs on the top. I don't need a computer or laptop to make this work. It just goes on its own. So I thought I'd just give you a little bit of reason why this is here. Now, that being said, yes, the subwoofer is now hooked up. Yes, we can crank it up. So what we're going to do is turn off my lapel. And by turning off my lapel, it's just going to run off the ribbon microphone that I have in the room. It's from Marantz, the MPM 3500R, for reference sake, so this way you know what's going on. The ribbon microphone works really well because it does a good job picking up the low frequencies that come off the subwoofer without distorting the sound. So that's good for you and it's good for me. By the way, if you like this video at this point, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed, do me the big favor. Please hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. All the equipment we're talking about today, maybe even this actual controller, is available at Guitar Center, and those links are down below. So if you're good and ready to buy, you hit those links. You can go shopping, see if it's on sale, because if you want to buy it, it's on sale, definitely. So we can play this 18-inch all day and it's just going to sound really good. I mean, I'm only dialing it in maybe 10, 15, 20% because of the studio space that we're in now. And you can definitely hear the clarity in the bass. You've got a lot of room to drive it up, which is very important. But remember, if you're going to have a lot of people, if you've got like 50 people, okay, so you got your one sub. But if you're playing EDM, if you're playing hip hop, if you're playing reggae, if you're playing anything that's solid, full of bass, definitely, if you can't afford to own 2 of them, rent the second one or rent both of them. You can do that as well at Guitar Center. So definitely have a look-see at getting subs. The more the merrier. Trust me, more subs is better than less subs, that's for sure. I've seen it way too often where somebody only has one and they're a little short on power and they end up damaging their one most important piece of equipment they have. So there you go. If you are looking for a subwoofer, definitely check out the links down below. Head on down to Guitar Center. If you need to hear it in person, go home with one. Have a good time. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.